Cordial greetings, tutor. My name is Angie Norelli Quinchua Romero, and today I'm going to present you the project of the course Foreign Language Acquisition and Learning. And the topic is the difficulties in speaking, specifically the pronunciation. And the main goal of the project is to understand the problem through the learning acquisition theories, combining the theories, the technology, and also the digital tools that we can access to uh, to create and apply creative methods um, to solve the problem. So this is the problem, and we find it in many classrooms. Students can't maybe read and write the verbs in past tense, but it is not the same way when we try to pronounce them correctly. For example, they say play it, or and instead of plate they say work it instead of work. So this kind of details difficulty the fluency and overall the speaking skill in English. So it makes difficulty the learning process of the language. And that's why it's important to explore the problem and know or discover why it happens. So we have some impact of the problem. The first one is it makes clear and assertive communication difficult, delays mastery of verbal tenses, limits reading and listening comprehension, and it affects confidence and increases anxiety. It is completely right. All those things happens when we cannot communicate correctly, when we cannot pronounce very good the words, and we cannot transmit the ideas that we want. So we have some possible causes, and the first one is low practice of spoken English, influence of Spanish and pronunciation, and lack of familiarity with present tense verb forms, and anxiety and lack of confidence when speaking. Well, this is right that when we are learning a second language or a different language from our mother language, we also try to apply or compare the Spanish grammatical structure with the language that we are learning, that we are acquiring, in this case, the English. So we not also the structure, um, but the pronunciation. Yeah, the English has some accents, some ways, some points that make it different from Spanish, and when we try it, speak English as Spanish, it sounds different, and it is not the correct way. So also, if we are not exposed to the language, it is difficulty to we have fluence and we acquire the or not be too shy at the moment to participate, and especially to speak. This is like the skill that we are afraid to practice. We have some theories to analyze according to the problematic, and the first one is the behaviorist by Skinner, and we have the pronunciation improves with repetition, imitation, and positive reinforcement. It means that we need a guided practice activities and frequent feedback with like in the session. Because as we said, the problem was identified in a classroom in an English session specifically, and according to the behaviorist theory by Skinner, and as I read, the learning process occurs or happens when there are imitation and repetition constantly. when the teacher models the pronunciation, the teacher shows how to pronounce the three different ed sound, the td and id sound, and the students repeat and repeat again, and finally they find it. For example, we have the shadowing method. This is really effectively really useful if we want to improve our pronunciation, our fluency, because sometimes we have how to pronounce some single words, but we cannot connect them in a whole phrase, in a whole text, and we are not fluent. This broke the purpose of the learning. So we have to practice it. It works. It take time, and we have to uh, like immerse in our own learning process. And in this case, in the students' learning process and in my teaching process. So um, um, the teacher in this theory provides constantly um, like positive comments, the reinforcement, I'm sorry, um, to like a feedback to let the student know that he is okay, that he is improving, that he need to improve, he need to study more, he need to repeat it more, and it helps to correct the mistakes that could appear. Um, and this is the theory of behaviors, and the way that a theory builds the correct habits to improve the language. For example, uh, well, that I said examples when the teachers models the pronunciation. So we also have the Krashen's theory, um, specifically the Krashen's Martha model. This is the second theory of Stephen Krashen's, and says that students learn better when they receive comprehensible input. Mm, Also, the theory also says that a low level of anxiety um, make like code effective filter help students learn faster and with more confidence, like not be too afraid to participate in class, maybe because the student are afraid that her or their classmate laugh of them, of their pronunciation, of the way that he is trying to speak. But it is the main goal or the main aspect to avoid, to the this theory try to avoid. So this is the communicative competences are really relevant in this part. Also, by the pronunciation in this theory, uh, the teacher gives some dialogues and like in past tense instead of only repetition, like uh, here you can find some real application or a context of this verb, not only the verbs, not only like this list of verb, not just put them in a text, in a real context, in a story. We also have the innative uh, theory from Chomsky, and there is an innative capacity to acquire language, but it requires rich and meaningful exposure. This is a theory, and I think an ability that some people have, like just because that it is a little bit more easier than other people to learn something that We consider it is difficult to learn. It takes time, but those people are capable to do it. I don't mean it is too easy or your learning is automatic to use CSX and you are ready to pronounce and speak it fluently. No, but it is a little bit more easy. So uh, we just need to practice and it occurs naturally. We also have the sociocultural theory by Vygotsky, and uh, this theory says that learning occurs through social interaction, lack of collaborative practice reduces opportunities to improve pronunciation. And this theory is focuses on how learning happens through the collaborative construction. Like we can also learn when my classmate participate. We can also learn when my classmate give me a feedback. This is the way when we say that we are humans and we are social creatures. So we have to take advantage of our classes, our sessions when we are in a classroom, when we are with other people that also have and share their experiences to improve our process, like in a general way. Um, in our case, this means the students can like record their pronunciation and then some classmates give them feedback. Like I record my pronunciation and I I let you that someone else hear my audio, my video, and this someone else people give me a feedback like your pronunciation is not too fluency or this word not sounds like you pretend like or the topic of this video is the past tense, but you use the verbs in future. Things like that help you to improve, and even you think like, oh, I didn't notice these mistakes that I made, but my classmate helped me to notice and to take like actions and try to improve it. Um, we have, well, those are the theories that we have related to the learning acquisition um language. So we also have some applications of future teachers. So we can use dynamics such as group work, infographics, collaborative presentations, also role-playing games and collective pronunciation practice, icebreakers to boost confidence. As I said to you, as I told you, sorry, we can guide the learning of the students, or um, me, I as a student can understand the way that my classmates learn, and it helped me. I can work in a collaborative way to improve, not to make it worse, not to make it like uh, this is hardest. Not, it is to make it easier. Um, this is the purpose. So try to apply it, reduce the anxiety with collaborative and empathetic uh, activities. Also motivate students to overcome barriers or fear and limitations. As I said you, it let you be more free and comfortable to participate in class. This is too important when we want to learn something new, when we want to improve. Also, we have integrating theory into practice. We can use the creation theory, the lower to emotional filter. We also use the sociocultural encourage and interaction as the principal theory or the main theory in this project, and also entities offer meaningful input. And behaviorist practice with positive reinforcement. This is really common. Uh, Maybe we want to be innovators, teachers, or but the most common theory that I can that is evidence and in classes and in sessions is the behaviors, the reinforce, the repetition, imitation, constantly. It is effectively if we do it with like a purpose. As the conclusions, we have like identifying problems and needs is essential to designing appropriate strategies. Also, that pronunciation is key to assertive communication, creating an environment of trust, reducing anxiety, and coach participation. Theory helps interpret and provide solutions to the problems observed because we have to analyze the reality of the context because not in all the contexts, not in all situations we can apply the whole theories, but we can like compare like the positive or the useful thing and apply them. uh, we also have these questions, and is the first one: what innovative English learning activity would you propose to address the problem? And it is the title or the name is the ED Sound Challenge. How to pronounce it? And it consists that the teacher or the students construct and write a short story of 5 or 6 sentences or lines where they use the past tense verbs, like for example, why did I do on weekend, on vacations, or some experience that they want to share in class. And they are going to record the story. They're going to read aloud their own story and record them um, with some digital free tool um, like Bookaroo. This is some tool that we have used in English course from the beginning, and this is useful and free. Also, we have a your English. This is some page that you put the word or the phrasal verb, and it gives you an example in a real context with the pronunciation. It is too useful. And then uh, they are going to listen the record and analyze if they are or not analyze, just listen the record but not um, their own record, just a classmate record, and give a feedback, a friendly feedback, to being respectful with the classmate. And then of this feedback they record again, but trying to apply the feedback, the suggestion that the classmate gave them before. And how would you uh, assess the impact of this activity on language learning? I think that through the feedback, the peer feedback, uh, that they can be able to recognize and to like wondering themselves, like ask themselves if they are pronouncing okay, if they really understand, if we really differentiate the three different sounds, And for this activity, of course, at the beginning, the teacher has the have to provide like a list of verb and modeling the pronunciation. Also, show an audio or a video where it is possible to hear and identify the three different sounds to uh, do the activity. Also, the feedback that teacher can provide to the students and I think this is the way that we can assess the impact of the learning activity. Thank you.